And we are live. Hi, everybody. Hi, this is Juliet, and you are here for the latest news on Ethereum and DeFi. Is the sound okay? Everything is fine? If you can't hear me, let me know in the chat. So, we're gonna start with the prices of Ether. So, we had a huge increase in the price of Ether this week. We're at 330 something, so that's really nice increase compared to 1 week ago, and that was largely fueled because of the increase in DeFi, so that's really sweet. So let's see the prices on the DeFi front. So on the DeFi front, the market cap has increased a lot. So we are at 3 billion 66 now. So I mean, we took like 18 months to go from 0 to 1 billion, a couple of months to go from 1 to 2 billion, and from 2 to 3 billion that was even faster. So DeFi is very much on steroid at the moment. That's really insane. Like, you learn a lot of things 1 week and you think you've done everything, and no, the next week you still have like tons of projects. I mean, this is really hard to keep up, like even for me. um so on the rate front, let's see a little bit the situation. So for DAI last week we were at roughly 6% on Aave, so it came down a little bit. The spread between DAI and USDC has widened a lot, so clearly DeFi prefer to have some DAI, and there is a reason for this because DAI is more decentralized. As we saw a couple of weeks ago with a stablecoin like USDC, you can have centralization risk. Like, there was an event where they seized the stablecoin of some address, so probably they did something wrong, but that's really why people prefer DAI. Apart from DAI, I don't see any really interesting rate, except maybe USDC on compliance 3.7%. That's nice, but the rest, it has really came down since the beginning of the craziness of yield farming. So on the front of the token, DeFi token prices, surprisingly, we are down on for a lot of token like Compound DAI, Ample Force, Synthetics, Eastland. However, there is one token which is up like crazy, and that's why I don't know how to say this one. YFI, yeah, I think we can say YFI. So that's the token of Yearn Finance, and later in this video I'm going to talk in more detail about this project because I think that's really one of the most exciting projects in DeFi right now. What do you think, guys? What is your favorite DeFi project? So yeah, here, so this token, it was launched at roughly like 30 bucks, like was like a couple of weeks ago, and now it's something like, yeah, close to 3,000. So I mean, just huge return. So that's absolutely insane. So now we're gonna continue with the news about blockchain and DeFi. So big news is the banks in the US, they can offer a crypto custody service according to the regulator. So before, we only had a company called Gemini, or you also had Coinbase who offer this service. But now banks will be able to hold the private key for digital wallets. So that's bullish for the adoption of blockchain because you have a lot of institutional investors, so like really big company that hold a lot of money, that don't really feel comfortable holding on to the private keys. So if they can give this to banks, that can really help to develop, to really increase the adoption of blockchain for really big company. So we should see this as a good news, even though personally we probably don't want to give a private key to banks. But if big companies want to do it, that's cool. Then another big news is, so the Winklevoss Gemini, so that's the exchange I was talking just before. They're going to offer custody of .crypto blockchain domain. So For this, we need to first understand two things, so Gemini and the blockchain domain. So first, as I was saying before, Gemini, this is a crypto exchange that has a service called Gemini Custody, where they can hold the private key of for your crypto assets. And there's another service which is called Unstoppable Domains that allow you to buy domain names that are written that basically are stored in the blockchain. So they implement this with an ERC-721 token. And so the way it works is, so the domain is stored inside the ERC-721, and it points to a hash on IPFS. So it's fully decentralized. The ownership of the domain is decentralized, and also the content is also decentralized on IPFS. And so now with Winklevoss Gemini, you can basically they can keep the custody of your .crypto blockchain domain. So instead of holding the private key yourself of your domain, then you can give it to them. And so for individual user, that's probably not useful. But again, for big company, for enterprise, that's something that is really interesting, because big companies, they don't really want to have this responsibility of holding private keys. So pretty sweet stuff. And by the way, if you never checked out Unstoppable Domain, check it out. It's really sweet if you want to do a fully decentralized website. Next, there was a big news on for the DAI. The DAI rate of return like skyrocketed to 50%. So that was on Aave. So that was like really insane, and that actually prompted the MakerDAO community to increase the selling for Ethereum. So that's basically the maximum amount of Ethereum that can be held as a collateral to mint some new DAI. So that's been increased to 220 million, and that's because there is this huge demand for DAI. So that's pretty cool. That's mean that DAI is really popular. Everybody want a piece of it. Next news. Okay, so I think I'm done for the news about blockchain and DeFi. So now we're gonna see the news about development. So first, I saw this tutorial about testing Ethereum spot contracts. So this guy, Ben Hauser, I don't know how to say his last name. He's really into Python on blockchain. So on his tutorial, he teaches how to test spot contract with Brownie. So Brownie, this is a, let me see, where did you, yeah, here I mentioned Brownie. So Brownie, this is a Python framework for developing spot contract, and that integrates really well with Viper, I believe. So if you are really into Python and you want to do blockchain, then that might be an interesting tutorial. Then another cool stuff I saw was a tutorial to create an ERC-721 token factory with Webflow. So first, what is Webflow? What is that hero? So Webflow, that's a visual tool to build websites. So if you want to build a beautiful website, a static website, and you want to do it quickly, then you can use this tool. And Dab Hero, this is a tool to create decentralized application really easily. So it basically produces some HTML with some special code that is transformed by some JavaScript. It looks a little bit like Angular. You can see it as a tool/framework to build decentralized application in a simple way. And so what they did is they created a template in Webflow for their tool. So now you can go to Webflow, import the template of that hero, and super easily create a decentralized application. And so that hero show you how to do this. So if you are into visual tools and you want to learn how to create a dApp super easily and you're not really technical, then that's really a really good thing for you. Next, I wanted to talk about this project, Create It app. I think I mentioned it before. So this is a CLI tool to very easily create some template for projects. And so this is basically based on Create React app. So if you're familiar with this other project, which is super popular for creating very quickly React application. So with Create It app, you can create the skeleton of a decentralized application. So that's super sweet. And recently they added some update. So now let me see, I wrote this somewhere. So now with this tool, what you can do is, yeah, so they added Ether.js, they added MakerDAO, Kyber Synthetics, and Uniswap v2. So yeah, I mean, this tool is becoming like better every week, so that's super sweet. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to do a deep dive on this project, Yearn.finance. So that's the token I told you before, YFI. This is the governance token of this project. So this project allow you to maximize the yield on your crypto assets. So if you have some DAI, some USDC, you want to invest them somewhere, but you don't really want to bother to try to research which yield is the best, which project is the best. You just want to invest in one smart contract and have people do and have the smart contract automatically allocate to the best project. Then this Yearn.finance is going to do this for you. So let me show you how it works. So one second. Or I'm changing window. Property. Diagram. All right. Okay, so this is a little diagram that I prepared for you guys. So I'm going to explain how Yearn work and also how this is connected to the YFI token. So that's super important to follow because YFI is really the big thing right now in DeFi. So step one, you are going to invest your token into Yearn. So for example, you have some DAI or some USDC. So I think they only support some stable coin. So you invest them in Yearn. And Yearn is going to allocate your token to the project with the best yield. So if this is Compound, this is going to provide liquidity to Compound. And you also have other protocol. I think you have 4 or 5 other DeFi protocols. And in exchange, you're going to have a Y token. So if you invested DAI, this is going to be Y DAI. If you invested USDC, this is going to be Y USDC, etc., etc. So yeah, oh, by the way, so you may wonder how, okay, once you invest once, how this is rebalanced later. Well, every time someone invests in Yearn, then automatically everything is rebalanced. So if another person, maybe one block later, invest in Yearn again, then Yearn is going to calculate what's the best yield. And if this is the same project where it already has all the token, then it just does nothing. It just leave everything in, for example, let's say we had everything in Compound. It just leave everything in Compound. But if it figured out that now the best yield is from, for example, Uniswap, then in this case, it remove all the token from Compound and invest everything in Uniswap. So you don't have to do anything. The protocol will reallocate the funds automatically. And second, step 2, once you have your YDAI or YUSDC, etc., you're going to invest in what we call the Y pool. So the Y pool, this is a pool of Y token inside the Curve exchange, because Curve, so Curve.fi, which is another very popular project, this is done by the same author as Yearn. So you invest your YDAI in this pool, and in exchange you get a Y curve token. And so first of all, by investing in this Y pool, you get some reward. I believe you get some CRV token, which are the governance token for the Curve exchange. And on top of it, of course, you get your Y Curve. That this is basically the proof that you invested your Y DAI inside this pool. And after step 3, you are going to invest your Y Curve into YFI staking. And so in exchange, you're going to get some YFI tokens. And so with this YFI token, you can vote on the Yearn protocol. So don't be confused. Like the Curve token, this is for Curve.finance, and YFI, this is for Yearn.finance. So two different projects, even though they are built by the same guy. And yeah, and so by doing this, you get some really nice yield. And the whole operation is really beautiful because first, if we just recap everything here, because you invested your DAI here, so you get an optimal return on investment. Then here, step 2, so you make some trading fee because you invest into this Y pool, and you also earn some Curve token. And then step 3, you also earn you also make some money with the YFI tokens. So yeah, I mean, this is like a really great example of a yield farming. As always, this stuff is risky, so don't do it if you guys aren't sure of what you're doing. I mean, the smart contract can have a bug. Some situation might appear that basically make the whole investment go in a bad direction. So be super careful with this. So now we're gonna go on to the question. So we have Perry, Earthsky, Johnson, Mega Montana. Okay, what's up, bro? So do you think Cosmos or Polkadot will take a responsible market share away from Ethereum? No freaking way. Just no way. Ethereum is just like gone so far. Like I just think these other projects that try to take some market share from Ethereum, like this is almost like cute at this point. Really, I mean, with DeFi, with everything that's going on, no, there is no way. R Skycar, hi Julian, could you recommend something how to deal with high transaction fee madness? And if from time to time this is not profitable to move or swap asset inside DeFi space. Yeah, I heard about something called DeFi DAO. So this is a DAO that aggregate liquidity from many different sources, and that invest in some DeFi project. But because they invest in a large chunk, that make it more interesting. Like, let's say they invest, I don't know, like $100,000, and the transaction fee is just 10 or 20 bucks. Even though for a normal person that would be crazy, for the whole DAO that's still acceptable. So you might look into this. Otherwise, what you can do is you just check ethgasstation.info, and at different time of the day, and when you see the gas is going down, and boom, you invest. Also, if you invest higher amount, that can make the transaction fee more acceptable. Other question, John Salai. I use Chi token help to save a bit of gas on 1 inch. Oh, okay. Well, this is a good tip. Well, I didn't know you could save some gas with Chi token. Mega Montana, what's up, bro? No. What do you think of engine development and ERC 1155? Yeah, I already covered ERC 1155 in my series on Ethereum tokens. I think that that in some cases that might make sense. Might make sense. So I was working on this project for a customer on a prediction market, and so on the Gnosis, and we're trying to build a sort of meta token that sums up different bets that were related. So we use ERC 1155 in this case. That can be useful if you're trying to make different investment but that are somehow related, and you want to sell this investment or you want to package this investment in a single container. So in this case, ERC 1155 is great, and of course for gaming that's also great. Could you make a video explaining proof of work versus proof of stake and POM? Well, I don't even know what POM is. Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, it's a good suggestion. Yeah, are you guys interested in Yearn that I explained before? Because I didn't see any question on that. I mean, that's really the big thing right now. Like, what YFI Token is just like, it's the big news of this week. So I was a bit surprised not to see more interest in that. All right, guys. Well, I mean, if that's all the question now, I think we're gonna wrap it up soon. Oh, some question coming. Will participating in liquidity pools cover fees in some swap? Well, yes, but it's very difficult to answer in the general. You got to see with a specific example. But for sure, if you invest just $100 with the current gas fees, I don't think that's going to be really interesting. So probably you need to invest at least, I don't know, like a couple of $100 at least. Yeah. When YFI Raid return, it's still been quiet. Are you still staking in those pools? No, I haven't been staking there because I was too busy studying everything. But I should invest some because, yeah, I think the Wi-Fi craziness is going to end soon. So yeah, I think most of the token appreciation is probably past at this point. Yeah. Oh, POM is proof of make. Oh, okay. Interesting. There's so many proof of something. That's cool. All right, guys. Well, I think this time this is it. No more questions. Thanks for participating, and yeah, put in the chat or in the comment like what kind of project you want me to talk about next time. What kind of topic. That's super important to get your feedback. Right. Thanks, guy. I'll see you soon on my channel. Bye.